ripping and roasting. Yeah, that's what we do. Set 'em up, knock 'em down, make that cherry glow. Whiskey and cigars, the gentleman's cologne.
Cheers, y'all.
Well.
Ooh, that sounds like a party about to happen, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this fine radio program, podcast, and video extravaganza known internationally as the world-famous Smokin' and Toastin'. Welcome, my friends, to show number 367. Our program is all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars. My name is Cruz, and my co-host, back again with us this week, is Mr. Ian
You said
Berry.
300 and how many?
367.
Now, I know we're not supposed to do math in this program
We
here.
struggled without you last week trying to do
We're not supposed to do
math.
math, but 367, you said?
That's right.
That's if I divide that exactly down the middle, that means we're halfway to 400 right now.
I believe so. Yes, I believe that's right. And we had trouble calculating that last week without you. But we do want to say a big thanks to last week's guest co-host, our wine expert and friend, Mr. Mark Burrell.
Love that guy.
Who was here in your place last week. And then our special guest.
As long as he wasn't better than I am.
I want to thank also, notice how I just completely avoided that question. Also want to thank our special guest, Mr. Barry Brenniger from RD1 Spirits, who brought in 4 different expressions of their whiskey, all the same mash bill, but all aged very differently in different casks.
I'm super sorry I missed that. That sounds
I think
fun.
you would.
I feel like I
you would
learned a
enjoy
lot
it.
on that show.
Yeah, it was a fun show. So
Glenmorangie did that with their cask editions of like the La Santa, the Quinta Ruban, and the Madeira.
And I was reading just this week that is kind of becoming the thing now in whiskey, is the different cask finishes, that a lot more whiskey companies are experimenting with different
with the exact
wood
same
and
mash
different-
bill, the exact same distillate.
Exactly. And so that's what we did last week, and it was actually very good and a lot of fun. Now, you, on the other hand, were having some special fun of your own.
So I know you guys missed me last week, and
did.
I appreciate that. I wasn't really thinking about you. I was on a boat smoking a cigar.
But you were thinking about me because I got a photo from you
I'm teasing, I did
of
think
you
about
doing a little taste test of one of the beers on the cruise. And I'm just going to go out on a limb here. Was it the Dos Equis Mexican Pale Ale?
It was not.
Because
It was
your
not.
face looked like that's what it was.
Yeah, it was. So I sent that picture because we sat down and we did a short thing where we grabbed
tasting segment.
Yeah, we did a short tasting segment, and me and Alan grabbed a few of the beers that are made for the Carnival cruise lines, right? Mm-hmm. And they're called Parched Pig.
That doesn't sound very appetizing. What, a pig that's really thirsty.
Parched
Okay,
pig.
great.
Anyway, so we sat down with 3 of those expressions, 3 or 4, I can't remember now.
But you have a segment, right?
Yes, but we have the segment, which you will see very shortly. But one of them, in particular, it was not good.
This is what I love, though. Like, sometimes people accuse us of liking everything. It's like, for the most part, we try to bring on things that we think we're going to like, right? Except for maybe the mystery bev, and we'll get to a mystery bev in a moment. But why don't we go ahead and see this segment? Because I want to see your face.
Well, so yeah, here we go. So we went into the.
So this is you and our buddy Alan Denny, correct?
Yes, this is me and Alan Denny at one of the pubs on the boat where they had all the beers, and then we just took over a table, and we had a friend of ours, Cam, with the camera. Mm-hmm. Is a really nice little handheld camera he was using, and then his wife. Alan's wife, April, was taking some pictures, and that's where you got the picture from last week that I thought was hilarious. I had to send ahead.
All right, well, why don't we see exactly what that looked like? Here, go ahead and play this clip.
Hello, everybody. We are here on the Carnival Breeze. Look who I found on my cruise.
Who would have thought? No cruise on the cruise.
We're on a cruise without cruise.
That's weird.
That is weird. But we got each other, and that's a lot.
And we got beer and lots of it.
So this is the beer that's the Carnival Cruise Line beer. It's called Parched Pig. They have 3 different flavors. They have the pumpkin ale, the IPA,
Caribbean
and
wheat.
it's Caribbean wheat.
Caribbean.
Caribbean, yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I said.
We're doing the pumpkin ale first?
We're going to try the pumpkin ale first, and the reason is because my wife's waiting to drink this beer. So she's sitting over there without a beer. So we're going to start this one first. And we're going to see how these beers are.
It's weird not having a producer to pour our drinks for us.
That's true. That's true. Oh, you know, I usually pour the drinks on the show.
Do you?
I do. Oh, pass that on.
I'm thinking about Adam, because Adam... Well, the beers you do, but we just got we got video bombs.
Do we get video bombs?
We got
Nice.
video bombs.
I love it. Well, I figured it'd be okay to have like people walking by.
Yeah.
We're having a great time. If you look out that way, there's tons of like water. Lots of water.
And sky, clouds. Nose is really good.
You know what? This actually smells okay.
I get more pumpkin spice than I do pumpkin.
Agreed. And almost pumpkin, like a pumpkin pie crust.
Yes.
Almost.
Oh, that's pumpkin pie can, like making a pumpkin pie.
That's like licking the spatula.
Yeah. Yeah, right after Mom whipped it up.
It's actually oddly good. It's also not a heavy mouthfeel. It's a lighter mouthfeel.
No, it's way lighter than I was. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna give this one a go. This is pretty okay for what it is.
Yeah. This is Thanksgiving in a glass.
It is. We're gonna move on to the IPA because I know you're not a big fan of IPAs. So we're gonna have the IPA and then we can use the last one to wash your mouth out.
Hey, little April, can you come around here real quick? Hold on. I need a shot of water in each glass. Please and thank you.
Yes.
Oh, she has water.
She got a bottle of water, so we
On
can...
her. That makes it even easier.
Yeah.
There, you can dump here. I can mix that.
Perfect.
All right, so here we are coming up with the
That's the IPA.
Parch
West.
Pig
Wait, what did it
West
say?
Coast IPA. Carnival Cruise Line, bursting with flavor, all about that relaxed vacation feeling all the time.
And these are all made on ship, right?
I'm pretty sure they don't make these on the ship.
Oh, I actually thought they were brewed on ship.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why I thought that.
Totally hoppy, bitter, add bright character, citrus, and pine notes. You're going to hate this one totally. Where does it say? It says Carnival Corporation, Carnival Cruise Line.
Would you ask the bartender if these are made on ship?
I'm not saying no, but
Doesn't say where it's made. Oh, wait. Brewed in Lakeland, Florida by Carnival Cruise Line.
Never mind, it's not made on ship.
Brewed in Lakeland, Florida. There you go. Cheers. This is the West Coast IPA. It smells West Coast IPA. It's got kind of the little bit of dank to it.
A little bit, but it's grapefruity. It's citrusy for sure.
Wow. This tastes like you bit right into a grapefruit
Yep.
peel. It's actually not bad. If you're an IPA lover, Cruz would love this one.
Yeah, it's not my jam. Just not my...
That would fight a cigar all day long.
Yep.
whenever I thought I'd give shots out, this isn't what I thought it would
Rock.
Not what you were expecting? All right.
All right, last one in the lineup.
Wait, no, hold on. I want to get close to the mic.
Yeah, I probably should have done that too. But you're the man, sir.
You know, hey, let me pour this one.
Yeah, that is pale
Yeah.
Caribbean wheat.
You know, I like a lot of wheat beers.
And you know, wheat is not my favorite style of beer. There's a few I like. There's a few that are amazing. Celis White.
Nose on this is fantastic,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah, it smells pretty nice. What's your flavor on it?
Not what I expected at all. Yeah.
There's a smoky. It tastes like a smoky grilled banana. That's a bizarre few flavors. Pretty sure this is not my favorite of their beers.
No, I'm not an IPA guy, and I like the IPA way more than this. I didn't like the IPA.
This tastes like a smoky grilled plantain or something.
So by far, I give the pumpkin the
Pumpkin wins, IPA second. I'm not sure about this Caribbean wheat.
You know,
What does it say about it? Oh, this one's got long stuff on it.
Yeah.
Live life to the fullest with the island-inspired Thirsty Frog brews. Meat Red and Little Red Tree Frog, big personality, blah, blah. I don't really say anything about this beer.
No.
I guess he's the
Little red tree frog climbing on a
That
weed.
is cute, though.
Yeah.
He's climbing on a weed. Yeah, this one, not so much.
Yeah, I'm
the
gonna
IPA's pretty good, actually. And the pumpkin ale's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to drink it. We'll see y'all next time. We'll be at Alchemy Bar.
Yeah, we're going to do a couple more here on the ship, Alchemy Bar and a couple others. So, y'all stay easy.
Drink a lot.
Cheers, y'all.
Well, at least you're honest. That's what and I appreciate that.
It was special. It was so we had a lot of fun anyway, and we had fun doing that segment anyway. So I thought it was worth it to have one done on the trip.
So I want to give you another opportunity to be honest.
I brought
here.
just so you know on that boat.
Yeah.
I brought 40 cigars.
How many did you have?
I smoked at least, but I didn't actually count them. At least half of them.
Nice. Well, if you can't smoke on a cruise, when can you? Right?
It was 5-day trip.
Yeah. My buddy Dave, he loves to go on the blues cruise type thing.
Yeah.
He's a big cigar guy, and he wound up smoking a cigar with Buddy Guy.
Oh, that's badass.
Yeah, how cool is that? Yeah. It's not
Buddy Guy.
Yeah,
man.
not a bad thing.
I've seen Buddy Guy live a few times, man.
He's
so good.
phenomenal.
I saw him with Coco Taylor one time at the Arena Theater.
Wow, how great was
what
that?
What a great show, yeah.
Oh, wow. Well,
on my
fantastic.
birthday. It was actually on my birthday night, too.
Yeah, well, very cool.
It doesn't get much better than that.
Love it. Well, speaking of things you might or might not like, it's time for the mystery beverage. And this is the segment of the show where we bring you a beverage that only one of us, the person who brought it in, knows anything about it and pours it. And we do it kind of sight unseen. So you can tell me.
It smells like raisin datey kind of thing.
Yeah, you can tell me what you think about this. I will say, because I
It's
don't
a
think I'm
beer-looking
giving
thing.
anything away,
Yeah.
I was going to say it looks like a beer.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. On the nose, you're right. Raisin and date.
Oh. What is happening there?
Oh, wow. The taste.
And brown sugar.
And chocolate. And something.
Oh, wow.
Brown sugar.
That has way more complex flavor than the nose.
This almost has a rum flavor.
Is there a little heat there, too, though,
It seems like it.
on the finish?
Oh, it's like ginger heat on the finish. Like there's ginger in there of some sort.
Maybe a little cinnamon.
I'm thinking more Marianne, but yes.
Are you saying she was hotter than ginger?
Oh, Marianne was way hotter than Ginger. That's been well established. I don't even need to argue that point. Let me grab this came out of a bottle. Let me grab the bottle and show you what we're dealing with here.
All right, I can't wait to see what's happening here.
I think you may be
I'm
surprised
a little
on this one.
confused about it. I don't hate it.
This is from one of our absolute favorite brewers, Founders.
It's so interesting.
Founders does a bottle shop series where they do like a limited release, and the label is always the same, except in this little part here, they put what it is. So I bought this thinking we'd taste it on the show because it's a Mango Magnifico. Wow. And I thought we love Founders. That sounds great. Wasn't until I got it home. I bought a 4-pack of these. Wasn't until I got it home that I read here on the side. Mango ale with habanero peppers.
I was going to say,
That's the spice.
It's got a spice to it.
Yep,
yeah,
that's right.
When you said mango, I thought there's going to be some spice.
Do you like it?
I don't hate it.
Yeah.
Like, it's interesting. It's fun. I
It's
keep
not Dos
drinking it,
Equis
too.
pale ale with.
I usually don't like spicy drinks either.
Yeah.
It would pair nice with something spicy.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't usually like heat in my beer, but in this case, it's pretty interesting. I think I could drink these.
Yeah.
Gotta love Founders, though. Those guys know what's going on. All right, we got a lot to do on today's show, including, by the way, as we do the first show we've done since the Super Bowl, we're going to give you the ultimate guide to pairing beer and chicken wings. Because after all, football season kicks off in just a few months. So we'll be right back with more of that. It's Smoking and Toasting. Welcome back. It's Smoking and Toasting. Our program is all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars. The craft beer we're
I love those
tasting
things.
as our mystery beverage is this one from Founders.
I'm still drinking mine. Like,
So
I
that's
can't,
interesting,
kind of
'cause
can't stop drinking it.
Usually by this time with the mystery beverage, I'd say 8 out of 10 times we've stopped drinking it at this point.
It is sticky and it has stuff floating in it. It says
all of which is kind of right down
Magnifico's
here.
delicate sweetness. They call it a delicate sweetness.
Okay, I don't know if I'd go with that.
I'm not sure that I understand what they mean by delicate. There is punctuated perfectly by the heat of habanero peppers, proof that that fruit beer does not have to be one note. This high gravity ale is an entire sensory statement waiting to be uncapped. Well, I kind of get the mango. It's like a mango tamarind kind of thing.
Yeah. I would say it's edible. In other words, I can drink it, but I don't think I would ever buy it again.
It's
and
an
that's
interesting
making
bottle.
it the
It's
first
fun.
thing from Founders that I would not be a repeat.
Founders is great.
Yeah, because that's the reason I bought it. I didn't know about the habanero.
I feel like it might go good with street tacos.
Maybe. Ian, did you have an opportunity to smoke anything interesting? I know you were on the cuse, so you smoked like
Well, I told you.
a bunch of cigars.
I brought 40 cigars with me. I made it through at least half of them on a cruise.
He booked a non-smoking cruise.
Why go?
So yes, I picked up a Dunbarton Polpetta. Have you seen this?
I have not.
It's tiny. It's 4x48.
Well, look at it right up there. Ooh,
Yeah, it's
wow,
in this
that
picture.
is small.
You all right?
Wow.
Like when my hands are kind of large too, but by comparison, this is a So this is obviously it's Dunbarton, and I'm going to read what Half Wheel says about this because I didn't want to copy all this down myself. So Half Wheel says Cigar's 4x48 Violetta that has mixed fillers. It's a mixed filler cigar, meaning it has a wrapper and binder like a typical cigar, but the filler is smaller cuts of tobacco instead of the long fillers that are used for a typical cigar.
Yeah, okay.
So
Makes it less expensive, right?
Right, for Polpetta, the company used broadleaf cuts from the Michiera and Michiera Chiquitraca and
That's easy
Umagog and
for
Red
you to
Meat
say.
Lovers lines, along with the two longleaf fillers, a Mexican San Andreas binder, and a Connecticut broadleaf wrapper. So that's just setting up what I got in my hand here that I'm about to smoke. The appearance on this, medium brown wrapper, oily, veiny, firm overall. Really pretty cigar. Pre-light sniff on this, earth and leather with a touch of coffee at the foot. Pre-light draw, perfect punch on this, by the way. Look at the picture there.
Yeah.
Sweet mocha and earth with a touch of coffee. The initial light, tangy pepper blast, spicy and nutty going on in here. The first third, sweet mocha and spicy pepper act like yin and yang, a beautiful balance, both present without overtaking each other. Dense smoke, perfect for smoke rings. Retrohale is spicy and woody, solid ash, good burn. The second third of this, nutty and woody notes emerge between the spicy and the sweet, a walnut shell note and something between cedar and hickory on the woody side coming through. Retrohale is spicy and woody, solid ash. The last third of this cigar, spicy notes back down a little bit, leaving sweet mocha, walnut shell, and woody tones. Retrohale is spicy and woody, solid ash, perfect burn at the end of this. 40-minute smoke time, price to quality at $7.30. I give it a solid 6. This was a fantastic
Wow,
little cigar.
and for a mixed filler cigar, that's a great rating.
Yeah, I know it was great. It
wasn't
smoked
like
for
it was
40 minutes.
Wasn't like it was a $4 cigar. I
It was-
mean, 7's not a lot, but
Yeah, a 4-inch cigar smoking for 40 minutes, pretty darn good.
yeah, that sounds interesting.
Not
I
even
will-
a huge ring gauge either. So.
I will have to check that out. I'll tell you about what I smoked this week coming up in our next segment. I smoked a cigar from E.H. Taylor. Yes, the whiskey people.
E.H. Taylor, the whiskey people.
So I'll tell you about that coming up. Plus, we will be doing some interesting tasting today from here in our hometown of Houston. True Anomaly Brewing will be trying their El
love their
Comandante. It's a Spanish lager from the boys at True Anomaly. So we'll be trying that. Plus, from Alaskan Brewing Company, their hazy IPA called Juneau Juice.
Nice.
And then from Equilibrium Brewery, barrel-aged Hygge Time. It's an Imperial Stout that we'll be trying as well. And as if
love
that
it.
weren't enough, a rum from India. It's the Old Monk, the Legend. Very old, vatted rum. We'll be
Nice.
getting to all of that, plus drinking news, all coming up. It's Smoking and Toasting. Thank you for being here for the show. Welcome back. It's Smoking and Toasting. Our program's all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars. Show number 367. I'm Cruz. That's Ian Barry. On the Wheels of Steel is Terry Michaels. Thank you, Terry, for engineering the show for us today.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. I just wanted to mention, by the way, that Ian forgot his ukulele today. But never fear, because we have a recording of the Drinking News theme song that we'll be able to
I
play.
would
So we can
prefer to
still
say
do
that I
drinking news.
strategically omitted it.
Yeah, okay. Well, maybe you can just sort of hum a little music while I give you our Drinking News teaser headline for today. Our Drinking News teaser headline for the show. Hey, hey, we're the monkeys.
Oh, no. What's going on there?
We'll look forward to that.
You know monkeys throw poo.
I love talking about monkeys. I do. As I will tell you in the Drinking News segment, I have always been fascinated by monkeys. I love them. I love them. So let me tell you about the cigar that I had this week. It was the E.H. Taylor Corojo Toro Gordo. And so, yes, this cigar does come from the people who make E.H. Taylor bourbon, which is the Buffalo Trace Distillery. You've heard of them, I suppose. The distillery in Frankfort, Kentucky, is also home to well-sought-after and decorated brands like Buffalo Trace, Eagle Rare, Pappy Van Winkle, and Weller, all of which are considered to be top-notch whiskeys. Yeah. So that would set the bar pretty high then for an E.H. Taylor cigar, except for one little thing. So far, most of the cigars that I have tried that are connected to a particular brand of whiskey or bourbon have been, let's just say, a little underwhelming.
Yeah, a little bit.
That said, the E.H. Taylor Corojo is beautiful. You can see mine here. It was nice and smooth with a pigtail cap, and it was covered in an oily Corojo wrapper with a binder that's Nicaraguan and filler tobacco from the Dominican Republic. I twisted off the pigtail cap and then wished that I hadn't, because it pulled a little extra piece of the wrapper tobacco or the cap away a little bit further than I like. So my advice, if you smoke this one, clip the cap or maybe punch out over the pigtail. In any case, turns out that wasn't too problematic for me. I was able to detect cedar and earth on the pre-light sniff and the cold draw, along with some subtle spices. I lit the E.H. Taylor, and no initial pepper blast, which made sense since the filler is Dominican. As it burned through the first third, I got cedar, which I was kind of expecting from the pre-light, but also leather and a bit of citrus zest. The burn started out a little uneven, so I gave it an early touch-up with the lighter to see if it burned properly the rest of the way down. The Corojo wrapper gave the cigar a distinct spice and sweetness, almost like a rye whiskey kind of spice. Second third added a note of toasted almonds, and a creamy quality became noticeable as well. The note that remained consistent throughout the entire experience was definitely cedar. And by the final third, sometimes the rye spice and then sometimes the creamier sweetness would threaten to kind of take over the top flavor, but never quite became as dominant as the cedar. Now, here's the thing. I wish I could say better things about the burn. The E.H. Taylor struggled to burn evenly. It required multiple touch-ups, but at least in the beginning, I thought about giving it a pass to some degree, because I feel like I've had that problem a number of times on cigars with Corojo wrappers. They just don't seem, in my experience, to burn quite as evenly. Seems tougher to get them to burn correctly on a consistent basis. Flavor-wise, very enjoyable. But I wouldn't feel right about reviewing an E.H. Taylor cigar without pairing it with a bourbon.
What on earth would you pair it with, though?
Well, around the halfway point, I decided I really should do that this would be incomplete if I didn't. So, I go to my bar. And as it turns out, even though I have a lot more whiskeys in my bar than I used to, I didn't have any E.H. Taylor. In fairness, it can be a little hard to find.
It is a little hard to find.
So I used to have a bottle of Buffalo Trace, but I finished that off a long time ago. I don't have any Pappy or any Weller. And I had a bottle of Eagle Rare that Ian gave me for Christmas, but that was Christmas, and this is February, and it was Eagle Rare, so that baby is long gone. Yeah. So since I didn't have a single bourbon that comes out of that distillery, I wound up pairing the E.H. Taylor Corojo Toro Gordo with some Maker's Mark 46, and you know what? They were great together.
There's nothing wrong with Maker's Mark 46.
Really complemented each other. Brought out an apple note in the cigar and a maple note in the Makers. And I have a feeling that my now empty bottle of Eagle Rare would have paired up even better. It's hard to imagine that not pairing with everything. Honestly, it's a bit hard for me to give this one a grade. I do recommend that anyone try it who wants to pair a cigar with bourbon, this is just a wonderful way to pair. It was a delightful experience, but I do have a really tough time, as you'll see in some of these pictures, getting past the burn issue. It's hard for me to give this a 5 because of how much I had to tend it in order to correct the burn, just constantly, and how much better that I think the cigar might have tasted if I hadn't had to keep using the lighter on.
Right.
Ultimately, I would totally smoke this one again. I would. I'd be hoping for a better burn, but I would certainly give it another try. The E.H. Taylor Corojo Toro Gordo is a $13 cigar.
That's not too outrageous.
Yeah, but at that price, the burn keeps it from being worth what I paid
Right.
for it. So even though I would still recommend that you try it for the experience, price to quality will be a 4 for the E.H. Taylor Corojo.
Those of you
Toro
just
Gordo.
joining us, our price to quality works on a scale of 1 to 10, and 5 is exactly what you're getting, exactly what you paid for.
If this was a $6, maybe even a $7 cigar, I might have looked past the burn issues and given it a 5. But as you can see from these pictures, I mean, it wasn't just a slight burn issue. It was
burn
constant.
issues.
Yeah, it was constant. So, again, you can keep touching it up, but every time you
Now
do
the question
that,
is that particular cigar aged in E.H. Taylor barrels, or is it just made to pair with
it's made
E.H.
to
Taylor?
pair, is my understanding.
gotcha, okay.
Yeah. So it didn't have any sort of like whiskey barrel because I've had those, like some of the Camachos that are aged in whiskey barrels,
Right,
And it
right.
didn't have any of the flavors that those kind of impart.
The Diesel Whiskey Row series
Yeah.
too has they're pretty good.
And I
cigar.
enjoy those, yeah. But in this case, it was more just a straight ahead Corojo wrapper cigar, and again, the flavors were quite good and really good with the bourbon, really good. So worth trying, especially if you're like in the early stages of trying to learn how to pair things, because this one, I feel like you could pair it with just about any bourbon and it would probably work.
Right.
Because that's what it was designed for. So anyway, there you go. That's my review. Now we move to a beer. And I know we have a shot of this that Terry took for the B-roll, but this is a Spanish lager from our friends at True Anomaly Brewing. It's called El Comandante, and it also says up here Axiom Space. I'm not sure quite what that means. Did you read the can? Do you know who we're dealing with, who the gentleman is on the can?
Well, it doesn't
the
say
first one of their beers that had a person on it, by the way.
It doesn't say anything about him. It just has a picture of a gentleman, and it says Michael Lopez.
You read that on his name tag, right?
Yeah, I'm reading it on his name tag, and the last part of it is a little tough to read.
Well, it's a Spanish lager, and we already know these guys make a because Scout isn't Scout a Spanish lager?
Scout, yeah, they call it a
Mexican lager.
Mexican lager.
Yeah,
Yes,
and it is a True Anomaly beer that is absolutely wonderful. And we've had them on the show before, but at that time they
this
didn't
is
have
good.
this one.
This is a crispier version of that. I if I was going to pick one or two, I'd pick the Scout again because I really like the richness and a little sweetness. This is a little bit crispier, a little more bite to it, especially on the finish. Also a good beer.
What kind of flavors do you get in here?
I
get a real wheat flavor.
I'm getting that real hop Christmas and a little bit of apple, like green apple.
I was going to say apple too, but I wasn't absolutely sure.
Bitter
but yes.
green apple in a good
right,
way.
like a
but
Granny
yeah.
Smith type of green apple. Yeah,
For sure.
I even get that a little on the nose.
correct. It's pretty refreshing though.
I'm spilling it on myself.
That always makes it taste better.
That's for my
Has been
homies,
my
my
experience.
my
Yeah.
past homies.
I like it. I don't know that I like it better than Scout. Scout is just so good; it's hard to top.
Yeah, no, this is a good beer. I would certainly not be upset if someone handed me a glass of this. It's a good beer. It's nice. It's crisp, and I think that there's people out there that would like this more than Scout because of the crispiness.
Been a little too
It really
long.
has that bitter snap finish that just kind of cleans up and goes away.
It's been a little too long since I've been over to True Anomaly, and they're walking distance from my house, which is
That's
awesome.
shame on you, sir.
Yeah, and so I need to go back.
Bad cruise.
because I think this would probably be absolutely delicious right out of the tap.
I'm sure it would.
You know, you
Yeah.
just have that extra bit of freshness to it.
True
Yeah.
Anomaly does such great beers, though.
They really do.
They
and
do so many fun
one of the
ones.
things I love about them is they don't come out with a new beer like every other day. They really seem to plan what they're going to do when they bring something new to the market.
They always on their tap wall. They always have a few different Belgium style beers too,
Right, and they're
which
quite
you don't
good.
see that a lot of places. You'll see one maybe, like they'll put out one Belgium style something, but they'll have 2 or 3 different ones
By the way,
usually on their tap wall.
We honored you on last week's show.
Oh, yeah?
By having all really big beers. I think
You wait till I leave.
I think the lowest one was 8%, so that'll teach you to take a vacation. By the way, yeah. I think you would have really dug some of these beers. The stout was an espresso martini stout
Yes.
from Prairie Artisan Ales that was just thick.
Yes.
And viscous and wonderful.
I bet that was
Yes.
good.
Yeah, it was good. Even Mark was
So I was on
Yeah.
the boat. We had the drink package, so you can have up to 15 drinks a day at a price value of up to $20.
Okay,
right?
yeah.
And 15 drinks a day, just the number itself doesn't sound like a lot, but that's a lot. Like I
Yeah.
only hit
Oh, yeah,
that
sure.
limit once, and
Sure.
that was intentionally trying to hit the limit.
I was like, I can do
And
this.
I didn't drink
I
last
can do this.
I can do
I'm
this.
here. I'm here to do it.
But they
Yeah.
have a lot of like fruity mixed
Go
drinks,
eat.
right? So I
Go
drank a few
eat.
of those, and then immediately got
Like in a
heartburn.
big pineapple or something.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Heck with this. So the second day, I go up to the same bar, and there's this super nice lady there. She's like, Ian, you're back. I was like, you were here last night when I left. Did you ever get any sleep? But she's like, what do you want today? And I looked at the bar and I said, is that Florida Cognac 18 behind you? And she goes, it is. I said, I want that with 2 chips of ice.
yeah.
And so the entire rest of my trip, all of my drinks were either whiskey or Florida Cognac 18.
Nice. Florida Cognac 18 is so
And I
good.
drank them out of that bottle at that bar.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting how the Florida Cognac 18 compares with the
Because
rum we're going to be trying on
It's
today's
great
show.
with cigars,
Oh,
by the way.
No, it really is.
But like down, like if I wanted to go a little further, there was another bar down further in the ship, away from the smoking area. But you could get Blanton's
Oh wow.
at the same thing.
So
you know?
that's where all the Blantons went.
yes, yes, it is. And
Okay,
Woodford
good.
was another one they had. So
Wow.
that's what I was drinking all week.
Well, it'll be interesting to me, since you've just had the Florida Cognac 18 and that's fresh in your mind, how it compares with today's rum, which is the Old Monk, the Legend. They describe it as a very old vatted rum, and it's from India. Never had rum from India before.
This
Never had
fellow's
rum
been
from India.
staring at me the whole
yeah,
show.
yeah. In
He
fact,
is giving you quite the stare.
well,
He is.
it's in the shape of a guy's head, who
It
I
is.
assume is the Old Monk.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
I can't see the bottle from here. It is in the shape of a guy's.
That's what I'm saying. It's literally staring me.
Yeah, here, go ahead and hand it to me so we can show this to the camera.
staring
That
me
is,
in the face.
fact, the Old Monk, right there.
Like it's just sitting right here in front of me as you can.
So that should
No,
be interesting.
I've seen some vodka come in some odd shaped
Odd-shaped bottles, yeah,
Yes.
and tequila. Not as much rum though.
Well, yeah.
You don't
I've
Yeah,
expect
never
no,
seen rum
exactly.
come in a person's head.
Yeah,
Looks like, yeah,
it's going to
like-
be interesting.
Like one of the
Gonna
old
be
priests at school at my high school at St. Thomas, you know.
Yeah.
Just, that's
Exactly.
So eventually this old
Looking
monk's
at
going
you.
to be empty-headed.
Yes, he
Yeah.
is. He'll lose his head at some point.
What is
Yeah.
what is happening to us?
Yeah, I don't know, but nothing good. I can tell you that. Cigar makers are a whole bunch of them celebrating the Lunar New Year. This is the Year of the Dragon, and so I'll talk to you a little bit about some of the Year of the Dragon cigars that are coming out and that are out already. Plus, the complete guide, the ultimate guide to pairing beer and chicken wings. That is coming up on the show. We'll have that to look forward to. And I know, so at the time we're recording the show, we just had the Super Bowl, and at the time this show airs, the Super Bowl will have been about a week ago. So
And Taylor won.
yeah, and
That's what's good.
Taylor Swift won.
I
Yeah.
saw,
won,
Just,
yes.
just to put, I saw today someone post on Instagram a Taylor Swiftie. They had this picture of Taylor Swift with like the Kansas City in the back, and I texted him back. I said, I'm sure that team that worked really hard all year to win that Super Bowl is appreciative of someone making a graphic where Taylor Swift gets to take credit for winning the Super
Well, see,
Bowl.
and I love all of this stuff that was swirling around because people were saying, "Oh, Travis Kelce's going to propose to her on stage at halftime, and she's going to endorse Joe Biden for president." None of which happened, but also she was supposed to be the curse, right? Travis Kelce, her boyfriend,
yeah.
the tight end for the Chiefs, was supposed to be, she was supposed to be cursing him, and they weren't going to have a successful season. Yeah, they just won the Super Bowl.
Man,
that's
did you
all.
see that 49er crunch against Kelsey's shoulder?
Oh, man.
And that one, oh my gosh,
yeah.
that poor guy.
Yeah.
His
But
shoulder
anyway,
just crumpled.
one of the most important aspects of the Super Bowl to me has nothing to do with who's playing, and it's all about beer and chicken wings.
Yes.
So even though the Super Bowl is past, there'll be another one before you know it, and we will give you the ultimate guide to pairing beer and chicken wings, which, by the way, I did some of during the big game. So we'll get to all of that coming up, plus cigars to watch for and drinking news. Hey, we're the monkeys. We'll be getting to that coming up. It's Smoking and Toasting. Welcome back. It is Smoking and Toasting. We're so glad to have you here for program number 367. And so now that we've taken the Old Monk rum out of the box, I feel like his eyes are following us.
He's like one of those things at the
He's a little
Haunted
judgy,
Mansion.
isn't he?
Yes. Yeah, right. One of the things at Disney's,
At Disney's Haunted Mansion that just
That's
follows
awesome.
along with you as you're walking.
Well, as Ian's pouring the beer, let me take this moment to welcome all of you, not just to Smoking and Toasting, but to the year of the dragon. It's hard to believe that it's here. In fact, I'm still writing Year of the Rabbit on my checks.
That's right.
Boom, ching. I guess I need to discard that joke. I don't think I've actually written a check since I was also carrying around a BlackBerry with me everywhere. So
A BlackBerry.
yeah. But cigar makers are getting into
Personal data assistant.
Yes. Cigar makers are getting into the celebration of the Lunar New Year and the newly ushered in Year of the Dragon in a big way. Davidoff returns with another expensive smoke.
Wait, what?
The Davidoff Year of the
Now,
Dragon.
you said Davidoff twice in a
2024.
row. You already owe him like
I know.
50 cents.
It features 8 different tobaccos, aged for a total of 60 years. Expect to pay $79 per cigar, which does include, by the way, the Davidoff tax.
Yes.
Just so you know. And Plasencia is about to begin shipping their Year of the Dragon entry. It's a 6 1/4 by 54 torpedo that is made entirely of tobacco grown by the Plasencia family in Nicaragua. The MSRP is set at $45 per
See,
cigar.
I will try that one.
And production's limited to 3,000 boxes of 10 cigars each.
I will probably pick one of those up. Placencia is so good.
Yeah. And I've seen a picture of it. Boy, is it a good looking
I'm just
cigar.
saying, their $20 cigar is worth every bit of $20.
Rocky Patel Year of the Dragon is a limited edition one size line packed in bold red and gold boxes. It made its debut will make its debut at the PCA trade show in March. Shipping is expected in April. These cigars are Toro 6 1/2 by 52, and nearly the entire wrapper leaf, as Rocky's been doing a lot lately, is covered by dual red bands with dragons on them that adorn the cigar. It's a limited production, around only 6,000 boxes. They will sell for $35 per cigar.
I'll try one of those.
Available in the U.S. and around the world. It's described as medium to full-bodied, uses 2 binder leaves, one grown in the Jamastran Valley of Honduras and the other in Nicaragua. The filler is entirely Nicaraguan, and the wrapper is from the San Andres Valley of Mexico.
That's hard to go wrong with that.
All sounds really, really good. The Vega Fina Year of the Dragon is now available as well. It's a cigar blended by the Grupo de Maestros of Tabacalera de Garcia, using Ecuadorian wrapper, a Nicaraguan binder, and fillers from the Dominican Republic and Nicaragua. The Grupo de Maestros of Tabacalera de Garcia, that's Spanish for Grupo of Maestros of Tabacalera de Garcia.
Nailed it.
Okay. And these cigars will be a little more affordable for the Year of the Dragon. They're $15 per stick.
Nice.
And then there's Punch.
I was going to say, Punch has got to be in there somewhere.
Yeah, their Year of the Dragon commemorative stick is called the Punch Dragon Fire. It is a 5 by 60 short Gordo, which the company says is made to mimic the casing of a firework. The blend used a Mexican wrapper over a binder from Condego, Nicaragua, and fillers from the Dominican Republic, Honduras, and Nicaragua. It's even more affordable at about $9 per cigar. And I'm sure there will be others, but I'll wrap up this report with one that's a little more elusive. The Oliva Year of the Dragon is a seasonal set of Churchills that Oliva is offering exclusively through China duty-free shops. Oliva's Year of the Dragon cigars are made in Nicaragua, Ecuadorian Habano wrapper, Nicaraguan binder, Nicaraguan filler. The decorative dragon motifs are found on the boxes and on the footbands of every Churchill size smoke in the box. Each box will be priced at $350, which means they cost the same at the Rockies, about $35 per cigar. But only 1,500 boxes are being released.
Oh, wow.
And again, they are only available in duty-free shops in China. So next time I fly to China, I'll grab you some of these, and just for perspective, I've never actually been to China, so there's that. Anyway, happy Year of the Dragon, everybody. There you go. Ian, you have poured us some Juneau juice. This is from Alaskan Brewing. We only have a moment left in this segment, but they are based out of Juneau. This is a hazy IPA. It's about 6.8% alcohol by volume, and you've already tasted it. Your thoughts, sir?
Fruity. It's actually fruity and delicious. It's real good. The finish is quite possibly one of the best IPA finishes.
I'm now fascinated with Alaska because I've been watching True Detective Night Country on HBO, and this year's it's an anthology series, so every year's a different story, different characters, and all that. This year it's set in the remote northernmost part of Alaska, and it's really, really good. But it's basically where the sun doesn't come up for 3 months, and that's the time period that it's set in. So it's perpetual darkness and snow. It's really creepy.
Remember that movie Insomnia?
It is, it is as creepy as this is good. This is a delicious,
This is really, really
hazy
nice.
IPA. It doesn't look that fancy, but that's all right because they're covered in snow most of the time. Alaskan Brewing Juneau Juice. We'll talk a little more about this when we come back. Drinking News is on the way as well. It's Smoking and Toasting. Welcome back. It's Smoking and Toasting. Our program is all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars. And in this next segment, it's also about chicken wings.
Chicken wings.
Yeah, baby.
I'm gonna get ahead of this rum thing.
Okay.
You're going to get ahead?
Ahead of the rum?
Is that just-
But ching.
We get ahead on pouring the rum.
This is so wrong on so many levels. So if you're pairing beer and chicken wings,
This guy's coming unscrewed.
He's got a screw loose.
I hope his brains don't pour out. So the popular notion about beer and chicken wings for years has been that a light lager would pair with any wing. And I'd just like to mention, I would pair the Mexican, the Spanish lager that we had today with wings. I think that would go very well.
Agreed.
The crispness of a lager, and you don't have to go. And let me just say this, folks: you don't have to have a Budweiser or a Miller to enjoy a good lager beer. There's so many great. We've had so many of them on the show over the past year, as so many craft breweries have gone into trying to really perfect the craft lager or the craft pilsner. And there's been so many good ones. So, but in this day and age, there are just as many, if not more, wing sauces and marinades as there are beer styles. So no need to limit your options to macro brews. If you happen to be eyeing up a tray of jerk-style drumsticks, we got a pairing for you. If you want to do different kind of barbecue, we got that too. So let's get into this just a little bit. And this is from an article in VinePair. So I can trust these guys to be pretty on it, right? So let's say a deep-fried chicken wing. Any crispy wing calls for an equally crisp beverage, so a no-frills crushable macro lager is what most people might reach for with deep-fried chicken. But I would suggest going more with a non-macro lager, and I'm thinking about something like
Fat Tire.
Fat Tire is a great choice. Yeah, great choice. Or even some of the lagers that we've had. I'm going to bring this in probably a week or so, but there's a great lager that I've been able to sample from Odell's that is just absolutely fabulous. It's just got such wonderful crispness to it. And so we'll get to that. But I would recommend going with a really premium craft lager if you're doing just straight up battered deep fried chicken wings. Now, if you got jerk chicken wings, the suggestion from VinePair is a stout or a porter. Jerk is the flagship spice blend from Jamaica. It's very complex, often contains over 10 different spices, usually cinnamon, nutmeg, brown sugar, and clove, along with a number of other components. So what better beer style to stand up to the heat while hyping up the sweeter, nuttier side of jerk than a smooth stout or a smooth
Agreed.
porter,
That's
with the
yeah.
undertones of coffee and chocolate and dried fruit.
You could maybe even get away with like ESB.
Yes, absolutely. Now, for a barbecue wing, which that's what I had during the Super Bowl, we picked up barbecue from Papa's Barbecue in Houston. And
Did you get the wings and ribs?
Oh my God, yes, that's exactly.
That's what I got yesterday.
The wings and ribs.
The wings and ribs
And
are
it's
so good. I got the
so
habanero
good.
and the.
Yeah. So they suggested Vine Pair to use brown ales, the less burly brother of stouts, if you're having barbecue. It's a relatively wide category from, sweet and lower ABVs to things that are more malty, hoppy, and assertive. But no matter where a brown ale lands on the spectrum, they say, the subtle sweetness and bready malt character are prime contenders for the taming of the tang of barbecue sauce.
The taming of the tang.
Now, for buffalo wings, they recommend pale ales and IPAs. Buffalo
with
wings, they said, have developed one of the most loyal fan bases in the wing world. Why this is, they can't say for sure, but there's definitely an audience for their spicy, buttery, and vinegar-laced kick. That's where pale ales and IPAs come in. Their bitterness, their bouquet of pine, fruit, and floral aromas help settle the acidic score, especially when there's no ranch or blue cheese available. For honey garlic wings, they recommend a Belgian double. A Belgian double, essentially a stronger brown ale invented by the Belgian monks at the Westmalle Abbey Monastery in the mid-1800s. Low bitterness, slightly spicy character, yeast-driven, pairs very well, they say, with honey garlic wings. For lemon pepper, they recommend Saison or Berliner Weiss. And
I'm not sure about the Berliner Weiss.
yeah,
Saison, I can see. I can totally see.
yeah, I mean, they say some of the pairings are designed to be the beer yin to the wings yang. But Saisons and Berliner Weisses lean into the flavors of lemon pepper wings, but in a good way, they say. So
I'd have to try that.
farmhouse-like
That might be one of
flavors-
those just surprising things that works.
Yeah, absolutely. For mango habanero, isn't that what we had to open
Yes.
the show?
Yes. You can have a mango habanero beer.
Yeah, well, they recommend with mango habanero wings to try a Vienna lager because they're floral and bright and bready and clean, and they have a relatively low level of bitterness.
Yeah, there you go.
Garlic Parmesan wings.
That's what I've been waiting for. That's the one I've been waiting for.
Pilsner, baby, Pilsner, they
Okay.
say.
Yeah.
They're resoundingly light, and garlic and Parmesan, sweet and salty. And this is making
Okay.
me really hungry for
Yeah,
something.
I know.
like-
Now I want
I'm
wings.
gonna go home and eat the leftover wings. from
Totally. I
yesterday.
have some left over, too.
They were smoky
And
too. They were good.
And a few ribs. Oh, my God, those ribs. They just melt in your mouth. If you are in Houston, the Papa's restaurant chain, it's a local chain. It's not a big syndicated national outfit. But they have every restaurant in there. They have Cajun seafood. They have Mexican food. But the Papa's barbecue, it's some of the most outstanding barbecue I've ever
Really
had.
good.
And I've had it all over the place. For honey mustard wings, they recommend a Marzen. Marzens land on the rich, full-bodied end of the lager spectrum. They're also darker and a tad sweeter than the Viennas.
Yep.
And most Oktoberfests are
Marzen,
Marzens.
yeah.
So that's really good with honey mustard wings. And finally, with teriyaki wings, they recommend a wit beer. A teriyaki sauce, they say,
can see it.
straddles sweet and savory with soy, garlic, and ginger, bringing an umami profile into the
Or
mix.
even a rice beer.
Yeah, whether or not the high wheat content of wheat beer actually contains orange peel like Blue Moon and coriander like Allagash White, most wheat beers tend to capture citrusy, spicy aromas with enough brightness to stand up against the richness and complexity of any teriyaki-style glaze. What I love about this whole list is extremely unpretentious. Because sometimes, when you're talking to beer snobs and they're, got the pinky lifted and they're only pairing it with, restaurants that are like $58 a plate and stuff like that. But this is all about chicken wings, my friend.
Yeah.
And believe me, you can spend money
Let me
on
tell you
chicken
where you can
wings.
get some of the best wings in Houston that
Yeah.
exist. Is it a restaurant called Watershed?
I have not been there.
It's over off of Post Oak in the Meyerland area. And they have smoked wings that are so good, it'll make you take back stuff you didn't even steal.
Oh, I'm liking this. I'm liking this very, very
They're
much.
outrageous.
I'm liking this very, very much. All of this article, though, causes me to want to once again shed light on what I think is one of the greatest tragedies of chain restaurants in our time. And that is the fact that Buffalo Wild Wings, known for their crazy assortment of different kind of wings that you can order, have such an absolutely horrible beer list. They've got all these taps, and there's only a couple of them that
How
are
can
even.
you have they have something like 30 taps?
Yeah, and they have
like
two
two
good beers
that you can drink.
Sam Adams, Boston Lager, and maybe
And occasionally a local seasonal.
Yeah, maybe. And, the wings are pretty good there. I will admit that. But the absence of a real beer selection combined with the sticky floors, I just go elsewhere for my wings.
Yeah, so the service, like the last couple times I went to the one that I usually go to, the service has been like, what is going on here?
Yeah, so it's one of those franchises where they're not doing enough check-ins from the grand headquarters. You know?
Something.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of headquarters, let's
Not to get ahead of yourself. Cruz is just sitting here with his head in his hands.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to head right on into the rest of this segment and see if we can use our brains to
Cruz, where you
try
headed?
some rum. So I will admit,
For those of you who missed the earlier part of the show, this rum is actually in a head-shaped bottle.
yes,
And it's hilarious.
if you're listening on audio only, it's a pretty funny looking head too. It's the head of an old monk, and so that's it's worth checking out the video of the show to be able to do it. I have to say, whenever I see a bottle like this, I immediately think gimmick.
Oh, yeah.
And that kept me from trying Skelly, one of my absolute favorite tequilas, for better part of a year. Because I thought, I love this goofy, skeleton with the sombrero Day of the Dead bottle. But that can't be good tequila, right?
And it's amazing.
Turns out it's amazing. So what do we think, Ian, about the Old Monk rum? This is from India, by the way.
It's interesting. It's spicy. Ooh. It's like way spicy on the back end. It's not spicy on the front end. It's very sweet.
It's on the finish.
Very sweet, but the back end's finish is very spicy.
So you get that spicy finish, but then if you hold for a second, you get a little bit of sweetness that comes back too, and some maple. I actually think this is surprisingly good.
What do you call this kind of hat? The little round thing.
A chrome dome?
No. He's wearing a hat.
He's not wearing a hat.
Yeah, he's wearing a little hat.
No, that's
I
his
think
bald.
that's just the way- yeah.
No, this is his head. It rises up
I
here.
don't know. I thought he was just bald.
No, I
Is
I
that
think
is that
his hair's
something a
under
monk
the hat.
wears? I've
You
never
think
been
it's
a
like
monk.
a little yarmulke?
Yeah, like a little. Yeah, it looks like that.
Monks don't wear yarmulkes.
I
That's
know.
Jewish.
I'm just saying.
But yeah, I don't know. I thought
monk
maybe that
beanie?
was just. I think maybe that's just a comb over in the front.
Maybe it is. Okay. I was gonna say because he's rocking some product here. It says-
Yeah. On the back of his head it says Old Monk. So maybe that is a hat.
Or maybe he's got a tattoo. I don't know. Do monks get tattoos?
I don't think they do. But what else have they got to do?
Yeah.
Yeah. When you're a monk, all you do is like pray and don't eat, right?
And don't speak.
And make
beer.
make beer and rum. Apparently,
And apparently rum. I got to say, though, this is pretty good.
Yeah.
it is actually pretty darn good rum. This is bold rum.
It's under $40, by the way, for this head-shaped bottle.
Wow.
I'm trying not to make any more jokes.
Makes
here.
you wonder why they don't shape more bottles in heads or things like
Well,
that.
there
if they
are
can
some
still
of them
do it
out
for
there.
under $40.
I
There are
mean,
some of them out
you
there.
can get a crystal skull if you want.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But you don't.
Yeah,
But you can.
Yeah, but you can.
I mean, it's there available
Yeah.
for you. You don't have to get it.
I have a friend that I used to work with years ago that he would use as a state of measurement. He would ask if you're saying, well, it was pretty big. He would always ask, was it bigger than a baby's head? So I'm going to now take that and amend it. Is it bigger than a monk's head?
in a monk's head.
Yeah. This is going to be my new statement, my standard of measurement.
That monk did have a tiny head, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But boy, is he creepy.
Oh no! Turn that back around and look at it again. You
Boy,
gotta
is
get that
he
shot.
creepy. All right,
That's
yeah.
No, turn it around towards you. That's that Shakespeare shot.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing there. I am
Shakespeare in the
contemplating
park.
man's inhumanity to man, and rum. That's really.
That's a weird reference
I
for
gotta
us.
tell you
Sorry.
though, I like this, Shakespeare or not. I like this. You know.
Was
Perhaps
that
it is
Othello?
the rum of the bard. I don't know. It is.
It's got an interesting. It's bold and it's different than a lot of different. It's really a different.
Well, it's the
rum.
first time I've ever had any spirit, quite frankly, from India. much less any rum.
I like the spice. I like the way the spice comes right back at you. It's like it's not an immediate thing. It's on the back of the palate. And it just comes right back at you. It's really interesting. It's real sweet right up front.
It is. You get the sugar cane up front. You get a little spiciness on the finish. And then as you wait, a little bit of that sweet comes back to sort of mingle with the spiciness. I don't know. It's very interesting. Quite frankly, very complex for something that you pour out of a guy's head. Seriously. Maybe one day we should do a show where
we're tasting his thoughts.
A blind taste test of only things that come out of a head-shaped bottle. Yeah, that'd be pretty interesting. to see what works, to see what wins.
We're gonna have to get Joel back for that, right?
Yeah, for sure. All right, we got to take a break. It's Smoking and Toasting. Our program's all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars. We will be right back. Welcome back to Smoking and Toasting, our program all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars. And I was glad that we were able to take a break between segments there because I had to go to the head. So
I had to go back to the head.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's see. North is that way. South, west. So there's the rock band Head East. Thank you. I'll be here all week. Tip your waitresses. Honestly, though, this old monk, as creepy as the bottle is, this is actually pretty good rum. I'm really enjoying it. I really am. Yeah, what do you think?
Pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
And you said it's under $40.
Yeah, I want to say it's around $35.
And you get that sculpted glass masterpiece.
You get to keep that forever.
You get to keep it. Right. Even if I threw it out, I would keep it forever. It will haunt my dreams.
No,
I'm trying to poke out my mind's eye right now.
What you want to do with this is put something else in it when the rum is gone. You want this in your bar.
Yeah.
You want people to go, the hell is this? Yeah. Exactly. By the way, speaking of what the hell is this, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, on the final day of January, filed an appeal for the August 2023 court ruling, which vacated their decision to regulate premium cigars. So we're back in this crap again.
Oh, good.
Thanks to the FDA.
I'm glad we had it all figured out, and now they're sticking them back through the grinder, through the bureaucracy.
And see, I thought we were done. Like, I thought that was going to be the last word on this. But the court ruling apparently, the court ruling that happened in August of last year stemmed from a lawsuit that was filed by the Cigar Association of America, Cigar Rights of America, our good friend Trey Boring is a member of that group, and the Premium Cigar Association, the PCA. In 2022, Judge Ahmet Mehta issued an opinion examining the rulemaking record and detailing that the FDA's failure to address the evidence in the record showing that premium cigars have different usage patterns with different resulting health effects than other cigars. And then that same judge later ruled that the FDA's mishandling of significant questions that the FDA itself asked its proposed rule to be merited vacating it. The FDA, he said, never made a non-arbitrary decision to regulate premium cigars. In this appeal, the FDA is urging the court to elevate deference to the agency's, quote, scientific judgment, end quote, over its duty of explanation under the Administrative Procedure Act. Now, I realize there's a lot of legalese in here, but basically they're challenging their right to make this unilateral decision, which the Judge Ahmet Mehta, said they don't have. They haven't shown the evidence for it. They've failed to provide enough to suggest that they should be allowed to be the regulatory body over premium cigars. PCA, of course, said it will be responding to the FDA's arguments and defending the judge's opinion in a forthcoming filing with the D.C. Circuit Court. A hearing before 3 judges of the appellate court is likely to follow. We will keep you posted. But boy, these guys don't quit.
Man, they do not. They do not. These people obviously don't smoke cigars.
Oh, there's clearly not. No.
Maybe if they did, they'd chill. Maybe if they sat down for long enough to just, you know what? I'm going to sit down and have this one cigar.
So I read this article this week that I was going to talk about on the show, and then I decided, maybe it's a little too confusing to get to it. But the whole point of it was that a guy believed that cigars saved his wife's life. And the reason that this happened, it wasn't, because she was smoking cigars and it had some health benefit, but it was because he smoked cigars at a cigar lounge and there met a neurosurgeon. And when his wife was hospitalized with a particular condition and the doctors couldn't figure it out, he actually had a card from the surgeon that he had met in the cigar lounge, was able to call him, get him involved in his wife's case, and he was able to make a diagnosis. And now the wife has been treated and is fine. So, so there's another great cigar story for you. FDA, put that in your pipe and smoke it. Oh, wait, don't, because you wouldn't appreciate it.
At least not in California. You get a ticket for it.
Exactly.
Yeah, wrap your head around that.
We're going to take a break. We're going to head to break, and we'll be right back. You are watching and listening to Smoking and Toasting.
By the way, he is wearing a hat. Look at the picture on the box.
Oh, okay. You may be right. Yeah. All right. Well, this will give us an opportunity to get ahead of that. So we'll be right back. Welcome back. It's Smoking and Toasting. Our program is all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars. So in the last segment, or right at the end of it, or it might have been during the break, Ian looked back at the box of the old Monk rum, which comes in this disturbing monk head, and was able to determine from the illustration on the box that he is, in fact, wearing some kind of a hat or head covering. Yeah, so I guess you could say that for us at this point...
Not entirely unlike a yarmulke, right?
Yeah. Well, for us at this point, the old monk has become old hat. Which means, ladies and gentlemen, that it is now officially time for drinking news.
Drinking news, drinking news. Now it's time for drinking news. A Florida man with one arm said he had a gator for a pet. When asked about his absent arm, he said,
I had to take my gator to the vet.
Drinking news, drinking news. Now it's time for drinking news.
Cheers, y'all. Roberto Rivas Villar on our
pre-recorded version.
So thanks to Terry for clipping that up. We used that last week when you weren't here.
Nice.
And this week, since you forgot the ukulele, we used it again. So. Well, we take a break this week on Drinking News from stories about drinking, from stories about stupid criminals, and stories about Florida. To bring you a story, it's about something that I have been particularly fascinated with for most of my life. Monkeys. That's right. In fact, if Ricky Gervais hadn't beat me to it in his excellent 2005 podcast series, The Ricky Gervais Show, I might just change the name of this week's report to Monkey News. And by the way, if you have not listened to The Ricky Gervais Show from 2005, it's a podcast series, about maybe 10, 15 episodes, but every week they did Monkey News. And it is beautiful and wondrous and a thing that all people should hear and witness for themselves.
Monkeys throw poo.
Yes, they do. I've never had a monkey for a pet. I've had dogs, of course, and cats and fish, and I've shared before the horror story of the time that I adopted Mr. Wheeze, the ferret who pooped his weight every couple of hours. But I've never had a monkey.
Mr. Wheeze.
Always wanted one. I think it may be a guy thing. You never really hear about women who wax poetic about how cool it would be to have a pet monkey, right? But I can imagine, carrying one around on my shoulders, wrestling with him after I come home from work on a hard day, feeding him bananas, all that cool monkey stuff, right? I've always had a soft spot for monkeys in entertainment, too. I mean, who didn't love the late 70s TV series BJ and the Bear, which was not about a bear at all, but about a trucker who traveled the land in a rig with his pet monkey and all of their wacky misadventures. Doesn't that sound awesome? It was.
Wait, wasn't there a porn called BJ and the Bear?
I think there may have been, yeah.
I think those two terms, by the way, meant something very different.
You make those completely confused. Ask Matt Booth. Even better was a show that, and I swear I'm not making this up, ran for one season in 1970, where all of the characters were played by monkeys. And our hero fought against crime and against evil plots to take over the world. That's right. I'm talking about Lancelot Link, Secret Chimp. Google it.
It's for real, y'all.
You'll find that Lancelot Link and his female partner, Mata Hari, get it, Harry, also fronted a rockin' band that not only knew how to jam, but used their songs as encoded secret messages for other chimps that were also secret agents.
Oh.
Does this sound great or what? I mean, if it sounds awesome, that's because it freaking was, people. Netflix, if you are listening, pick up Lancelot Link. I will binge the crap out of that like there's no tomorrow. I also really enjoyed the much darker Planet of the Apes movies. And these days, the CGI's gotten so good that you can almost believe it. There was an ad for the new one in the Super Bowl last weekend. But a real-life situation like that is unfolding as we speak. And it makes the adventures of General Thade and Ari and General Krall seem tame by comparison. Our story today takes us to Thailand and the central city of Lopburi, where the citizens are currently being subjected to an invasion of thousands of monkeys. Lopburi has long been known for their population of macaques. He said macaque. And in fact, it's been a tourist destination for people who like to hang out with monkeys for many years. Sounds like a place that I would actually love to visit.
You just get a pet monkey right there.
Right. But the city is currently being overrun, according to numerous news reports, by a 3,500-strong army of these old world monkeys.
Wow.
And they have completely taken control of Lopburi. Many locals have fled, while others have been forced to barricade themselves inside their homes.
Now all I can think of is what Ian keeps talking about monkeys doing.
Yep. In a desperate bid to protect themselves against these rampaging primates. We live in... Go ahead.
This is... I mean, that last bit where you said they barricade... That last bit when you said they barricade themselves, it makes me think of I Am Legend, right?
Yeah. We live
Now,
in
I'm not talking about the movie, because by the way, the zombies in the movie are not anything like what's actually in the book. The book has much more interesting zombies. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, this is real life. And Lopburi local Kajura Tekiwatana.
That's easy for you to say.
Tekiwatana is how you actually pronounce it. Tekiwatana. She told reporters, "We live in a cage, but the monkeys live outside." And she added that she's had to completely barricade her home to prevent the monkey mob from raiding it in search of food. Now, at first, the locals attempted to keep the animals at bay by providing them with junk food. But that plan backfired and seemed to only make the monkeys more violent. They'd been giving the monkeys sweets and fizzy drinks and cereal, and I'm sure you can guess how that turned out.
Don't you feed that stray dog, he'll keep coming back for more.
Sugary treats are well known to make monkeys more hyper and again, I swear I'm not making this up, more sexually active.
Oh, I was going to say fling more poo, but yeah, well, okay. Flinging something.
So the current situation seems to have been a result of lockdowns during the pandemic, where the monkeys went from being a tourist attraction to overrunning the city and became hungrier, hornier, and more aggressive than before.
Oh, I thought you were going to go with the alliteration, hungry, hornier, and happier.
Yeah. That's right, though. The monkeys are more aggressive and they're horny. Remaining locals say the monkeys can now be found everywhere. They sit atop rooftops, ready for ambush. They run riot on the roads, and they even rob passing cars. And that's not even to mention the whole issue of them throwing their poo at people, which Ian has been, campaigning for from the beginning of the story. Yeah, like you've probably seen them do if you've ever been to the zoo.
That's right.
Yeah. Thailand's Department of National Parks has been forced to launch a sterilization program in hopes that they can curb some of the rapidly growing monkey population in the city, or at least some of the horniness. Now, what can we, from our safely monkey-free cities in the Western world, do to help the people of Lopburi? Not a whole lot, it turns out, unless we want to fly to Thailand to help with the macaque castration efforts. But I thought...
No, don't grab that end. Grab the other end.
But I thought that I could perhaps be of service in some small way by once again waxing poetic and offering a bit of prose to help ease the tension of these poor people who are barricaded in the safety of their homes while hordes of wild monkeys roam outside.
Your words are so comforting.
Inspiration finally hit, and with your permission, I'd like to share that poem with
Why,
you now.
yes, sir. How could I deny you?
And it goes,
how could I deny us that?
and it goes a little something like this. Lopburi, one day you will be free from the terror that all of you now see. You'll have work, play, and class without being harassed by a scary and randy monkey. Reporting live from Lopburi, where I think I just witnessed a monkey three-way. My name is Cruz, and that is your drinking news. I miss when you have the ukulele. You get to
do
take
the out.
over.
Yeah,
right
you
at the
guys
end.
didn't record the out?
We didn't do the out. No, I should have done the out.
So now I realize that may have not had as many punchlines as a typical episode of Drinking News, but I had to do it because it was about monkeys.
When
was
monkeys
great.
take over town,
Yeah.
It sounds like they're doing it wrong, though. It sounds like they're going about fixing it wrong because in my mind, I'm picturing Bugs Bunny dressed up
As a
as
monkey.
a female sexy monkey
See?
to lure them to another place, and this
Terry,
is what they're doing wrong.
You are completely a construct of your time in history. Because only someone our age would go to a Bugs Bunny cartoon. But of course they could solve it that way.
Yeah, that's how you would do
You
it.
could see Bugs going, "Mwah," and leaving the lipstick kiss right on the monkey.
Come on, you big monkey. And then just go.
Oh,
you
my
know,
God.
I gotta wonder whose idea was it. You know what? These monkeys are a pain in the butt. Let's give them sweets so that they know that they can get sweet, delicious, yummy food
Well, it's
anytime
kind
they
of
come
like,
here.
you know, you see these videos and stuff of people that go to like third world countries and they come out and like kids surround the bus or whatever, the local kids, and so they give them treats and candies and stuff, and then they follow them everywhere because there's no end to it. It's kind of like when you're on an airplane and you're sitting in a seat behind a small child, and the child looks back at you, and you start the game of peekaboo. This game has no ending.
No ending.
Yeah, it's gonna go on for the rest of your flight.
Dude, we went camping one time with a friend of mine, and I was like, Billy, do not feed the squirrel.
And Billy fed the squirrel.
Billy
didn't he?
fed the
fed the
squirrel.
squirrel.
This freaking squirrel haunted us the entire weekend.
Equilibrium and Evil Twin Brewing Company out of New York City teamed up for an Imperial Stout called Barrel Aged Hygge Time or Hygge Time. It's Hyggge. I don't know which one is correct pronunciation, but it is an Imperial
Hygge
Stout.
time.
Hygge Time.
It's Hygge time.
It's Imperial Stout with macadamia, honey, and marshmallow. Do
It
you know
means
what Hygge
creating a
Time?
warm atmosphere and enjoying the good things in life with good people.
Oh, so you know all about Hygge Time.
Well, yes. Thank you, Google.
If
That
only-
sounds like Urban Dictionary because I don't even know that word.
Yeah, totally. Urban Dictionary might have a completely different definition.
I have to say though, for Evil Twin Brewing, this is one of the shortest beer names I've ever heard.
Oh yeah, because those guys. Well, I guess because it was a collaboration with Equilibrium.
Have you tried
So,
yours yet?
I have not. Have you?
It's outrageously good.
Oh wow, this is great
Yeah,
on the nose.
it's like 9 kinds of good.
All right, help. It says beer balanced by science. I love this. This is a wonderful idea that should be encouraged. You know, mine almost looks like a Guinness in the top. It's got like the little patterns from the bubbles.
So
Wow, that's good.
doesn't say what it's coming in at, but it feels pretty boozy.
Oh, it's boozy, all right. And the macadamia, you can taste the macadamia. You can taste the marshmallow. What else does it say is in there?
Marshmallow, macadamia, and honey. I don't get a lot of the honey.
I get a little
Marshmallow,
on the
yes.
end. I get a
little
little of the honey
sweetness
on the end.
yeah.
I think it's the sweetness is what it is. I mean, it's hard because of the macadamia and the marshmallow. It blends together like a cookie, like a macadamia nut cookie or something. It blends together like that, and you get that little.
If you're ever someplace and they have this on the menu, this is what you want for dessert. Don't order the cake or the ice cream. Order this. Drink your dessert. This is wonderful.
You know what would be amazing with this?
What's that?
A Nutter Butter.
Oh yeah, actually it would.
Can you imagine?
Another Nutter Butter peanut butter sandwich cookie. Yeah, this is
Or
you
maybe
could
even like
dunk.
instead of a Nutter Butter, one of the like house brand ones that
yeah.
you leave open overnight so it just gets the right amount of stale.
I'm thinking like a vanilla cream. Like an Oreo but vanilla, right?
Yeah.
Dunk it in this.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness, this is
Oh yeah.
this is all.
I just want to say, look at how it
Oh, yeah.
sticks to the glass
It's
there.
there's still like a half an ounce there just stuck to the side of the glass. This is really wonderful, and we've had some
it kind
really
of drips
good.
down like oil.
We've had some really good Imperial stouts. This may be one of the sweeter ones. I
It's
think
incredibly
we've ever had.
sweet.
Yes.
Yes, it's incredibly sweet. If this was to fall between two physical things, it would stick them together permanently.
I will just say that Equilibrium Brewing and Evil Twin Brewing, who collaborated on this beer, either of those breweries, if you come across something, just buy it.
Oh, yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, this is something you're going to want to try.
It's
you're gonna
going to
wanna
be good.
Share, and you're going to want to talk about, and it's going to be good.
Yeah.
It's kind of like having a monkey. It's going to be good.
There's going to be a story involved.
There's going to be a story involved, and you'll enjoy telling it from now until the end of time.
That's right.
Yeah.
There's never a boring story started with, so I had a monkey.
That's exactly right. 100%. You can't have a boring story if that's your intro. Oh, man, I still, to this day, I want a monkey. I really do. I want to have one hanging out in the apartment waiting for me when I come home from doing the show.
With a cute little diaper on.
We'll be right back. It's Smoking and Toasting. Don't throw that! Welcome back. It's Smoking and Toasting. All about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars. And I'm not kidding, people. Lancelot Link, Secret Chimp. If any show has ever been worth your time, that is the show.
Simultaneously worth more and less of your time.
Yes, exactly. That's 100% true. So I just want to mention, I had Ian pour me some more during the break. This Equilibrium and Equal Twin collaboration barrel-aged Hygge time.
There's almost a peanut butteriness to
There
it.
is, yes. It's just got, there's so much flavor in
so
here.
much-
It's wonderful.
So many things going on. I
Now,
can
I haven't-
imagine my Miller Lite swilling friends trying to take a sip of this and watching the look on their faces.
Now, here's what I'm curious about. Have you gone back to the rum
Oh, yes.
after having any of this stout, and what does it do for you?
Well, the rum is so sweet and sticky that it stands up to it.
Really? Wow.
And it
Interesting.
actually brings out a cinnamon aftertaste in the rum.
Yeah.
It's very, the spice kind of gets defined.
So your headline would be, you see what I
Yes.
did there? Your headline would be that it brings out the cinnamon and spice in the
That's
rum.
right. That's right.
Okay. I'm with you. Hey, Rocky Patel is building a second cigar factory, and it is going to be opening in Nicaragua as soon as the second half of 2026. The new factory complex will sit on 8 manzanas, which is roughly about 14 acres of land in Esteli. So Rocky Patel, who already produces a lot of cigars, he's looking to just about double his production output.
And that guy makes great cigars, too.
He really does, and he puts them out on a regular basis. Like
I bought a box of those Rocky Patel number 6. So good.
it's a wonderful cigar.
Yeah.
And you know what? Like, don't sleep on the Rocky Patel decade.
No,
It's a few years old now, and people are focusing on more, recent things out of the line. That is a wonderful
That's one of the
cigar.
cigars. I have one in my humidor right now. It's one of the cigars that got me into smoking cigars. like when I first started that decade and that 1990.
Well, the 1990 and the 92. Oh, yes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, so good.
Cigars. Yeah, wonderful cigars. Well, it is going to include, by the way, in addition to all of the different barns and buildings capable of making up to 60,000 cigars per day, it is also going to include offices, a cafeteria, medical facilities, and something that is being described as cigar entertainment, a man cave style lounge.
So he's like the Hershey
we need
of
to go
cigar.
to Nicaragua. We need to go to Nicaragua. Yeah.
This is like going to be like Hershey of cigar.
He's
Like,
going to have like
got own
Patel,
theme park.
Patel Land and like a roller coaster shaped like a cigar. That would be fun. Kind of like that. I kind of dig that. Yeah. Come into the humidor of horrors. You know? It's like a haunted humidor.
Haunted humidor.
The haunted humidor.
All right. So what have we learned on today's show? Well, we've learned
monkeys fling poo.
that monkeys are fun and they fling poo. Those things are not mutually exclusive. We've learned that rum poured out of a really scary-looking monk's head can actually be quite delicious.
That's true. That's true.
And we have,
As long as he's not staring at you.
We of course learned that that Ian is always welcome back on the show, and it's been good to have you back today.
Hey, man, it's good to be back.
Yeah.
You know.
Anything you want to forecast about upcoming episodes of the program?
At the moment,
Yeah.
no.
Okay. We're good. That keeps you from forecasting things that won't actually happen.
That's true.
Yeah. Like, I'm going to build a wall, and Mexico will pay for it.
We're working on this.
Yeah.
We're a work in progress right now.
Fair enough. Well, I want to thank everybody for coming along for the program this week. This one was a lot of fun. We hope you learned something about beers and chicken wings, and we hope you are able to come back with us. And I want to just mention one last thing. We've actually sent a formal request. We have not heard back. But Billy Gibbons, the legendary guitar player.
Billy
and-
F. Gibbons,
Yeah.
not to be confused with any of the other Billy Gibbons that you may know.
From ZZ Top. He's coming out with his own line of cigars and humidors. And we have extended our invitation to Billy, who lives here in our town, to come on to the show. We've not heard back from official sources. So I just want to appeal to Billy on the show, because I'm betting he listens.
Also, Billy, I can come knock on your door. You don't live far from me.
Okay, so there you go. Terry, you are now our ambassador.
You're what we like to call Plan B.
Except, I don't know if we should or not, because I can see Billy Gibbons, the beard and all, the legendary, guitarist for ZZ Top. I can see him going and looking at his people and going, "Oh Christ, it's that Terry guy." And that might not facilitate.
Might not be well.
getting
That's
him on the
right.
show.
That's right.
Last thing I'll say about Billy Gibbons, who I just love, by the way. I have actually had a chance to meet him in the past. Had lunch with him once. He was wonderful and polite and just, as humble as he could be. And when we left, he handed me his business card. It did not include his number, so I'm not able to call him and ask him to be on the show. But it did say, when I got home, I looked at it, and it said, Billy Gibbons. And underneath, where it would say, like, his occupation, it said, friend of Clapton. Not kidding. I still have this card, and it's one of my favorite items that I hold on to.
Have you heard him do 25 lighters?
Oh no, but
He does 25 lighters on my dresser.
Oh, classic. Have a great week, my friends. Thank you for joining us for Smoking and Toasting. Until we meet again, which will be a week from now. Have a wonderful week, and cheers, y'all.
I've been told